Hi, folks. Somebody requested, how do you handle fights in Hockey Blast? And I thought I'd just do a quick little video of how to do it. So when you're playing the game, if you roll a 2, you're going to have a fight. So if I'm playing the game and I roll and I get a 2, I got a possible fight situation. So the way I would handle it is this way. I'd find a tough guy from Buffalo. So this line is out against this line from Boston. So I'd find a tough guy. So I may go with maybe Tuck, since he has a fight of 2. So Tuck, Thompson, and Dahlin each have fights of 2. And on this side, we have Pastrnak, Marchand, and McAvoy. So I would maybe go Marchand. Now, you could use a decider die. And so in this case, be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you go that way, 1, 2 would have been Dahlin that was doing it. Or you can go by choice. So it's entirely up to you. If I was used to decider die for this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Have a 1, 2 would have been Pastrnak. Pastrnak doesn't fight that often. So let's say Dahlin is going against Pastrnak. We're going to go with the decider die. The next thing you do is you see if there's actually going to be a fight. So you're going to roll the dice. And when you roll the dice, this has to be, the white die has to be a 1 or a 2. Anything higher than a 2, he's not going to fight. And for Pastrnak, same thing, a 1 or a 2, because they have a fight ratings of 2. So roll the dice. And in this situation, we would have a scrap. So Pasternak's fight rating is 1 or 2, so he's going to fight. And Dahlin's fight rating is a 2, so he's going to fight. So we now have a fight. So on your score sheet, you would mark off the fight, and then I put an F down on my score sheet, and I'll check off 5 different things. So I'd write down right here that there'd be a fight. I would put down Pastrnak, I'd put Dahlin, and then I would put down 5 Fs so I know when they're going to come out of the penalty box. That's how I would mark it on the sheet. For the actual scrap itself, you were going to turn to page 11, I believe it is. And on page 11, it has at the very bottom of the page a fight chart. And you start rolling. And there's 2 ways of doing it. There's a homebrew that I use, or you can just use the actual chart itself. So if the actual chart itself, you would just start rolling, and every time you roll, you're going to have something that's going to happen. What I would do is, let's just pretend Dahlin's fight rating was a 4, Pastrnak is a 2. I would start Dahlin at 4 and Pastrnak at 2. Simply because if he's a 4, he's had more fights and he's probably a little better at it. But that's just a homebrew rule. For the actual game roll, let's just see what happens. So they've dropped their mitts. The next thing you do is you go to the fight chart on page 11 and you start rolling. So I roll the 4. So on the fight chart, it says home player lands a punch. So Pastrnak gets in a punch. And you keep going until you're told to stop. Next one, I roll a 5. That is a home player lands a punch. 2-0 Pastrnak. He gets in 2 quick shots. Number 3, visitor player is knocked down. So the fight is over. Dahlin has been knocked down. Pasternak's got in 2 big punches. So what you would do is from this point onward, the Boston Bruins would have momentum. So you go on to the next line, you'd rotate lines. Both of these guys would go to the penalty box, and momentum now goes over to the Boston Bruins, and you are now going to have a face-off. So that's basically how fights work in Hockey Blast. I hope that helps. I hope you figured it out. If in a situation, if you were to roll, say for an example, if you were to roll this, a 5 and a 5, there'd be no fight. And so you would just move on with the face-off, and you can either, what I would do, whoever has the highest fight rating gets in that extra shot, and they're going to gain momentum. If not, you just go to the fight chart, you roll it. Number 3, visitor knockdown, home would get momentum, and those guys stay on the ice. So somebody is going to get momentum after a non-fight situation. If you roll the dice and say this was a 1 and this is a 4, Pastrnak is not going to fight. Dahlin is going to fight. But since Pastrnak did not make it, there will be no fight. You're going to change lines going to the next situation. And if he's below his fight rating, he dropped his mitts, he would ready to go. My homebrew rule would be to give him momentum off of that. So just a couple little homebrew rules that hopefully you like and maybe you'll use. And that is how you resolve fights in Hockey Blast. That's all for now, folks.